Welcome back to SceneTV. I'm Marcus. This is Frank Ford. Oh my God. Welcome to SceneTV. How are you?
Hi, Markus. Oh, fabulous. I've had a wonderful time at the Cabaret Festival.
Oh my God. Of course, that's where we are. We're at the Adelaide Festival Centre for yet more of the Adelaide Cabaret Festival. Frank, look, for the people at home who don't know, you are the creator of the Adelaide Cabaret Festival, aren't you?
16 years ago now.
16 years ago?
Long time, isn't it?
Oh, you know, give or take. How did it all come about? Tell us.
Well, you know, I'm called the father of Fringe because I also organised or made the Fringe into an organisation. And what was happening in the 1990s, was that the comedians were found that they could come here and play Adelaide on the way to the Melbourne Cabaret Festival. And so all of a sudden, our wonderful Fringe, which was a showcase for national talent of, you know, dance, music, drama, everything, all of a sudden was swamped with the comedians. And so I thought, oh, if I could only take them out and put them somewhere else, a long way away. I love comedians, but I mean...
Separate them.
That's right, that's right. And so I did a bit of research, and I thought, well, cabaret, I've always loved cabaret. And I used to write cabaret reviews for university when I was at university, you know. So I thought, well, cabaret always has comedians, and perhaps we had cabaret, we could put the comedians over there and have another festival. And I thought, well, that's good because Australia's always had fabulous performers in musical theatre. Right from the beginning of the 19th century, we had, you know, wonderful musical theatre in this country. And of course, you know, all our stars are all over the world now. I mean, often they're, you know, doing a show in Sydney, next minute they're in London and New York doing exactly. Wonderful, you know. And so I thought, well, at this same time, there was a dearth of sort of musicals coming to Australia. These wonderful performers we had weren't getting any work. So I thought, oh, well, you know, we should have a cabaret festival because we're good at the music part and all the rest of it. And I could put some of the comedians over there. And so I started lobbying for it. I wrote a proposal. And I think one of the secrets of success of the Cabaret Festival is I said, well, it's got to have every type of cabaret in it, you know. And I think, you know, in Australia, cabaret had been killed because what used to have an expensive dinner in a restaurant, and the performer would come out, and it'd be one performer and a piano, perhaps, you know. The food would be terrible. And you'd sit there all night. If you didn't like that person, well, you know, that was it. And it was expensive, you know. And I said, well, it shouldn't be too expensive, you know. And there should be a variety of people, you know, performing, that sort of thing. And so I said, well, all right, so let's make it a real cabaret festival in the sense that all types of cabaret. And I think, as I was saying, this is why I think ours is such a success. Because I said it's got to be from performance art to Dada cabaret, to Berlin political cabaret, right up to schmaltzy Las Vegas.
The feathers, the glitter, everything in between.
And Marcus, you saw it this year. We had it this year, didn't we?
Very much.
With Dita Van Teese.
Oh my goodness, definitely. And that red carpet gala event that we had, oh my gosh.
Yes, wonderful.
All kinds of fabulous.
So we had that full range. And I think this is the lovely thing is you come here and you can pick and choose and you can discover all sorts of things.
There is something for everyone, isn't there?
Absolutely.
And so was that one of the things that you really wanted to really kick it off with way back in the beginning, 16 years ago?
Yes, I did. I wanted it so that it was from every age group, like there was something for every age group. Yeah. And what is really lovely, I think it's the most democratic of all festivals because you'll see 18-year-olds sitting at the same table with a 90-year-old and chatting about what shows they saw. There's no sort of difference, generational difference. They come here, they want to see a show, they've seen it, they like it, didn't like it, and all the rest of it. But it's really a lovely feeling. It's a social experience as well as like an entertainment experience.
Well, you know, so true. And look, you know, what we've got now, you know, with the Winter Garden, I'm not sure if that existed 16 years ago, but now, certainly with that Winter Garden, you know, all the audiences come together out in the Winter Garden and talk about the show they've seen, or how great it was, or how inspiring it was. And it's an amazing experience. You know,
they help sell the tickets, don't they? The audience helps sell the tickets, which is amazing. They say, have you seen such and such, you know?
And it's, I've been speaking to a couple of the artists during these interviews, and it's like I've been saying, it's just been a great experience for you know, the audience to mingle with the artists, and everyone just comes together in one platform.
It's very important. Cabaret artists are always very sociable too. They know that's their audience, and usually they're playing in fairly small venues Although, as I said, like in Las Vegas or Broadway, you can play to a very big audience as well in cabaret. But usually they're pretty sociable, and they'll come out after the show. And of course, there's nothing more exciting for a punter to meet the star.
For sure.
And I think you'll find the cabaret artists are very friendly, and they know that's their audience, and they've got to look after them as well, and communicate with them.
So do you find, from when the Cabaret Festival started 16 years ago to now, has it changed and developed much at all?
It's the most interesting thing, because we didn't know how it was going to go. No one had done a cabaret festival before.
Or how long it was going to go.
Yeah, that's right. And so we put it all together and just prayed it was going to work, and it did work. And the formula was right. The formula I'd written was right. Every type of cabaret, so they have variety there. And right from the beginning, it was success, you know. And I said to the Minister of the Arts, I said, rather than every 2 years, why can't we have it every year? And she said, well, we'll see. And of course, when it was such a success, she said yes, which was great, because at that time, remember, the Adelaide Festival was every 2 years. Yep. And so the idea, mentality, well, a festival must be every 2 years, you see. And I said, no, it's much better if it's every year, because then you could people saying you're locked into that weekend, like Queen's birthday weekend. So the Cabaret Festival's on then. Get ready for it. And
in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine collaborating with, artistic directors like Barry Humphries and Kate Sobrano, Ali and Eddie, and likewise?
And they've all been fabulous. Yeah. And they brought different things, quite different things, which is great, I think, because again, changing the artistic director is very important after a few years, because again, they bring in their
take on cabaret.
Yes, that's right. Julia Holt was their first one. She went for 8 years.
And then we went on to David Campbell.
That's right, correct, David, who I think is one of the best cabaret singers in the world. I mean, David is fabulous, I think.
We need to get him back, I think, don't we?
Well, he's come back twice now, yes, doing shows.
He's due for another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what are you hoping for next year? Do you want to see it venture into any other new paths?
Well, the slogan for this year that Eddie and Ali came up with, what comes next? So I think they're going to push the boundaries again. And one of the things I said, we want to reinvent cabaret for 21st century, Yep. And I think that's very important to reform the art for what works for today and what says and speaks to us today. And it has done that, and I think, but these are really focusing on that. Eddie and Ali are very familiar with the alternative cabaret. And you've seen some pretty raunchy shows here this festival. Which is typical, again, if you go back to 1930s and 20s in Berlin. There were 30 cabaret shows in Berlin. Some were for the literary ones, like we get for Kurt Weill stuff. And then some of them were for criminals and for all range of people. So it's that smorgasbord of, talent and getting them to tell their story, how they see life. I coined the phrase, and it's on the very first poster, cabarets, entertainment with attitude. So
and it still applies.
Yeah, they're not just singing a song.
Yep.
They've got an attitude towards it. And the lovely thing, I think, is the way they share their thoughts with the audience, isn't it? There's no fourth wall. We say the fourth wall's gone. That actually they really play the audience. Sometimes they get them involved, sing along with something or other, or they play games with them. But it's that lovely feeling, and I think why it's so popular today is because of that. Because at home you have wonderful home entertainment units and terrific sound, great vision, but you haven't got that feel that you're involved. You're passive, aren't you?
Quite right.
Where an audience in cabaret, you're very much involved, and I think that's why the experience is different.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, look, we've literally just walked out of Sven Ratzke's show.
Fabulous,
and the audience was practically on stage with him. Yeah. It was all-encompassing. Yeah. Brilliant. Give me your top 3 that you've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this year.
Well, we had the Wharf Review, which is brilliant satirical cabaret. Fabulous. We can't get them often because they play at Sydney. There's a Sydney Theatre Company, and they play at the end of the year in December, November, and that. And So I said to them last year, why don't you play some of your great moments, you know, which they did this year. And so they sent up all these wonderful, all our prime ministers, of course, and there's a great cavalcade of prime ministers these days, and they were just brilliant. I think some of the other ones was Sheridan in her Songs for the Forgotten.
Beautiful.
And that was quite bizarre, wasn't it? Because she concocted this whole cabaret piece about a courtesan in the 19th century, you know. And she told the story of the courtesan. It was a bit like La Traviata, only with pop songs.
Yeah.
But she was a great storyteller, and you were involved with that. It was something original and different, something very clever, you know. And I just saw Jana Alana. Well,
she's heaven. Say no more.
Jana Alana and her piranhas. That's her orchestra. I think she's quite a piranha. I mean, my God, is the energy she's got. A fabulous voice.
Yeah.
And she just is. There's no fear. There's no fear at all. You know.
And that's what cabaret is.
That's right.
And Ali and Eddie have just put together the most amazing program, clearly,
Yeah.
of amazing entertainment. Hey, let's wrap this up with a bit of a game. You up for it?
Yep, sure.
Putting you on the spot, let's play word association.
Yes.
Okay, so coffee,
Tea.
alcohol,
Booze.
sex,
Lovely.
Adelaide,
City of the Churches.
well-dressed gentleman,
Handsome.
Adelaide Cabaret Festival,
Bonza.
good. Last one, SceneTV.
Which TV?
SceneTV, us.
Oh!
That was awkward for a minute.
Well, that's life.
Oh, good. Frank, it's been an absolute pleasure. You've been watching SceneTV. We're going to see you very soon for more Cabaret Festival.